Eric the Red was a member of the Norse nobility living in Iceland, from where he was banished around 982 AD for murder. He sailed west and discovered Greenland. By 985, he had brought colonists there who established several settlements, the main ones being the eastern and western settlements. His son, Leif Erikson, sailed further west around 1000 AD. He explored Helluland, Baffin Island, Markland, Labrador, and Vinland, which is believed to be in Newfoundland. He and his retinue attempted to establish a settlement in Vinland, but it did not last long, only a few years or decades. We have firm knowledge of this voyage from a combination of different sources. Viking voyages to North America are described in two Icelandic sagas recorded in the 13th century, but based on oral tradition, the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red. These sagas describe repeated voyages of trade and exploration, but not permanent colonization. Some later European maps and writings mention lands west of Greenland. Archaeological finds confirm the Viking presence in North America. The most significant site is Lonso Meadows, excavated in the 1960s, where Norse-style buildings, iron tools, and other artifacts have been found. Radiocarbon dating of wood and artifacts from the site indicates a Viking presence around 990, 1050 AD. Research has confirmed that the trees used for construction at Lonso Meadows were cut down exactly in 1021 AD. There is other archaeological evidence of Viking presence in North America, including Norse artifacts found among indigenous communities. The sagas describe numerous expeditions beyond Vinland, where the Vikings encountered warmer climates and hostile natives, indicating the possibility of several other locations where they may have stayed. There is evidence that the Norse had an extensive presence as far as the Gulf of St. Lawrence and New England. In 2014, reports emerged about the discovery of a Viking drakkar in the Mississippi River. However, this turned out to be a humorous fabrication, not an actual discovery. No confirmed Viking sites have been found this far south, though unexplored areas of Canada and the US. East Coast may still hold traces of Norse presence. The sagas describe violent conflicts with the local population, the Skraelings. The first contacts were related to trade, but hostilities soon arose. Outnumbered and unable to hold their positions, the Norse left Vinland after a few years and returned to Greenland. However, even in Greenland, throughout their stay, they faced conflict with the local Thule Inuit. Life in the New World was not peaceful. The Vikings moved to Greenland and North America in search of new land to settle. In Greenland, they survived by farming, herding, hunting sea animals, and trading with Europe. They exported walrus ivory, furs, skins, and even live falcons to Europe in exchange for iron, wood, and other necessities. Narwhal tusks, often passed off as unicorn horns and highly prized in medieval European markets. Then came the Little Ice Age. A cooling climate led to longer, harsher winters. Sea ice increased, making travel to and from Greenland, especially trade with Europe, more difficult and dangerous. Agriculture declined. Demand for walrus ivory fell as African ivory became more available. Meanwhile, conflicts with the local Inuit, who were better adapted to Arctic conditions, continued. By the 15th century, Norse settlements in Greenland were in decline. By 1500s, Europeans visiting Greenland, such as Portuguese and Danish explorers, discovered abandoned ruins, confirming that the Norse had lived there in the past. Columbus may have been aware of these western lands. In 1477, he visited Iceland, where Norse sagas and stories about Greenland were known. However, this information did not interest him. He was searching for a route to Asia, not new northern lands. In the 16th century, Europeans continued visiting Greenland for various purposes until it was colonized by the Danes in the 18th century. It cannot be said that they rediscovered it. Greenland was never truly lost. It remained on European maps, and the fate of the Norse settlements was known, even if uncertain. Europeans simply re-established their presence after a hiatus of 150 years.